What celebrity would you bring back to life? Alan Rickman. John Candy. Even if it was just for one more movie. Anton Yelchin. Poor kid. Phil Hartman. Jeffrey Epstein so that motherfucker can testify and name names. Brittany Murphy, her senseless end still bums me out. Anton Yelchin, he was just getting started. Mr. Rogers. I feel like we need him now more than ever. Steve Irwin. Stevie Ray Vaughan. River Phoenix. John Ritter. Jim Henson. He had so much more to create. Norm Macdonald. George Carlin. Chris Farley. Carrie Fisher. Freddie Mercury. Heath only if he was okay with it, obvi. Sean Locke. Then, Sean would bring back all the top Nazis and put them on an island. John Candy. I think that dude had an Oscar and a 30-year John Goodman type career. None. Let them rest. Freddie Mercury. He's loved to see his friends and the fact that the way the world has progressed for the LGBT community. He'd be proud of that. Also, his voice is timeless. Robin Williams, one of my favorite comedians of all time. Karen Carpenter. 3. Freddie Mercury. Chris Cornell. Fred Rogers. We need that dude so bad right now. John Prine. Bob Saget or Bernie Mac. Chester Bennington. George Carlin. I think it's obvious why. Alan Rickman. Tom Petty. Chadwick Boseman. And heal them so they don't commit suicide again? Robin Williams. Audrey Hepburn. Princess Diana. The world needs her kindness right now. Gord Downie, David Bowie, Chris Cornell. No one sings like you anymore. Prince. Mac Miller. Freddie Mercury. I will die on this hill. Aaliyah. I think Zombie Hendrix could really add something that the world has been missing, some rockin' ass guitar. Eddie Van Halen. Steve Irwin. Philip Seymour Hoffman or Shannon Hoon. An uncommon choice, but I'd say Judith Barcy. She was a child actress that was murdered by her father when she was only 10. Amy Winehouse. What a talent. Cameron Boyce, died too young. Betty White. She was hilarious. Selena Quintanilla Perez. I would want to see her live out her dream of being this famous fashion designer artist and having her clothing line in Macy's. She wanted to have children with her husband Chris Perez, and they wanted to own a farm together with lots of animals. She was very loved, and when she was killed, she left a big hole in our hearts. Mexican Tejano. She was such a humble, beautiful person that was taken at the young age of 23. Marilyn Monroe. Amelia Earhart. Christina Grimmie. She wasn't a celebrity yet but had the potential. Warren Zevon. Kurt Cobain. That's an easy one. Selena. It was such a senseless waste of talent and kindness from a psycho bitch who I hope never breathes free air ever again. MF Doom. Great guy. Depending on who wants to come back or not, I have to make sure they want to come back before attempting it and make sure I bring them back properly. No Frankenstein monsters or clones. We have to follow ethics. Of course. 1. Chester Bennington. 2. Jason David Frank. 3. Heath Ledger. 4. Robin Williams. If I collect the 7 Dragon Balls, maybe the Eternal Dragon can bring 3 back, and I'll collect them again for the 4th. I'll use the last 2 wishes for something else. Easy. Steve Irwin. Sure as Aussies might get a laugh from him now and then. Not because of the cringe factor, but how more from how mainly Americans brought into the over-the-top Aussie vibe that Steve gave off. But us Aussie gave him a free pass on doing that because we got why he was doing that. Steve was an all-round top bloke with a huge passion for the Australian wildlife and how we need to protect it. Anthony Bourdain. I admire how he brought people together, and how he communicated the humanity of all the world's people to anyone who would listen. Dana Plato. I'm acquaintances with her only best friend and several other positive people in her life. She was a truly sweet and caring woman, but she had an additive personality and manic depression, which never got treated. Plus, too many scumbags took advantage of her good nature. Even her junior high school yearbook listed her as most loving. Chadwick Boseman. X200BE Bombay. Freddie. Amy Winehouse. Her music had so much potential. A founding father. Ask them what the hell they actually intended. And fix our shit. Cameron Boyce. Anton Yelchin. Cause he was so young and he just died in a freak accident, not in some way that if I brought him back to life he'd just die again right after cause suicide or drugs. He was an alright actor, but that's not really the exact reason. Better yet, Judith Barcy from Land Before Time. Prince. John Candy Hart. Freddie Mercury. David Bowie. Freddie Mercury. He just had way more awesome music left to give us. I miss Freddie. David Bowie. We need to repair the timeline. Freddie Mercury. I just personally would have loved to see what sort of music he would have made today. Trevor Moore. Free movies. Bob Ross. I feel like everything was right on the world when he was alive. Jimmy Savile, so he could be brought to justice. Everyone, there is something crucial you need to know. In his lifetime, Nikola Tesla was a celebrity scientist. We can bring him back and he can fix climate change. Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury. Patrick Swayze. I feel like Pop Smoke had a lot more in him before he passed. Tupac. Unless he's still alive, of course. Amy Winehouse. George Harrison. John Lennon. Tupac. So that Jada Pinkett would never have gone off the rails and derailed Will Smith's career and subjected us to endlessly needless, self-aggrandizing word vomit. Chester Bennington. Patsy Cline. Princess Diana Heart. Groucho. Leslie Jordan. He seemed like a genuinely sweet person who was just getting recognition for his humor and personality. His death was tragic and early. Anton Yelchin too. Killed in a horrible accident at the start of what should have been a long career. Jim Morrison. Chris Cornell. Waylon. Elvis. David Bowie. I was floored when I heard he died. I loved his music, and I cried my eyes out for a day when he died. On my iPod Touch, I have 30 songs I love, more than any other artist including The Who and Yes. I'd bring back someone who wanted to be here. I'd bring back my grandpa Carl. He was a celebrity in my world. He wanted to be here and had 2 grandbabies to know that he never got the chance to meet. Neil Peart. I don't need him to make any more music. I just wish he could have enjoyed his retirement after the shit hand life dealt him. George Carlin. John Prine or James Gandolfini. Kobe led a great life and died young, but I would bring back Gigi or Alyssa, who were just kids. River Phoenix.